Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're watching me from. Welcome to my live stream. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Oyoyo. And here at Oyoyo's World, I don't keep my live stream to myself, it's always conversational. So feel free to contribute in the comment section once the conversation gets started. Once again, welcome to my live stream. Thank you for being here and happy Dr. Martin Luther King's Jr.'s Day. Happy um, holiday to you all. Thank you guys for joining me today, okay? So we're going to be keeping it short, maximum 30 minutes. So jump in. And if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Oyoyo. If you're already been here before here at Oyoyo's World, you know we keep it straight, we keep it positive, we keep it very constructive. So today is Dr. Martin Luther King's holiday in America. Is a federal holiday. So all employees are on holidays, except essential workers and things like that. And for those that do not know who Martin Luther King is, Martin Luther King Jr., I have to make that definition. Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is very important to make the definition. So I'll be giving you guys an overview of who Dr. Martin Luther King um, was or what he's known for, and also the reason for the holiday because he was one of the pioneers of civil society in America. So welcome. For the younger people that have not had the privilege of finding out or knowing who Dr. Martin Luther King is, Dr. Martin Luther King Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929, and then he passed on April 4th, 1968. He was born Michael Luther King Jr., but later had his name changed to Martin. His grandfather began the family long tenure as pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, serving from 1914 to 1931. So you can see his generation of, Christians. That's the kind of background Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had growing up from a Christian family, and he served in the church. He was a pastor in the church and all of that. So let me just, like I said, an overview. Dr. Martin Luther King was also a co-pastor. He attended segregated public school in Georgia and graduated from high school, and at the age of 15 received a bachelor degree in 1948 at the age of 15. Wow, he was a very smart human being. And he also received a Nobel Prize, one of the youngest ever to receive a Nobel Prize. So let me continue a little overview before we proceed. He received that Bachelor of Arts degree in 1948 from Morehouse College, a distinguished Negro institution of Atlanta. It's a distinguished Black institute, in Atlanta, from which both his father and his grandfather had graduated from. Wow. After 3 years of theological study at Corres Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, where he was elected president of predominantly white senior class. Wow. He was awarded DE in 1951. With a fellowship won, he enrolled in graduate school at Boston University, completing his residence for the doctorate degree in 1958. All right, so I've given you guys an overview of, academic background, family background of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And there are so many things to know about this man. I remember growing up those days, my brother would memorize Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, even way back in our primary school days. He he memorized every line of his speech. I have a dream. I have a dream. We grew up learning it because it was very fascinating for my brother. And he kept on reciting that in the home, that every one of us are having dreams of one day. And remember, this was happening way back in Africa. So you can't say we're Americans. It's kind of a part of our history, a part of our culture at the time. So we got to embrace this man through the eyes of my younger brother, who believed so much in that speech, moving statement, moving speech of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I had a dream. And he was one of the people that championed what is called civil rights in America. He was at the forefront, leading from the front, helping the congregation, his community, and at the same time, the thing got all over. It became a national movement on freedom, on making everybody realize we are all equal before the eye of the Lord. He was there. His biography is so huge for me to come and read out in a live stream. So if you want to know a lot more about who Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is, please Google him. You'll find so many things that you can relate with in our today's world. So he said he had a dream that one day, children of the slave and children of the slave and children of the slave masters, owners, will sit at the same table. He had a dream of such need. I was listening to the speech today. I even tried to post one on Instagram, and they told me it wasn't allowed, otherwise it will have no audio. I kind of started thinking deeply about that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speech he made about I have a dream. And if you look at it today, I know we can say America hasn't really gotten to where it should be, but if you look at it with an open mind, you will the see that through the lens of interracial marriages. A lot of white folks are marrying black people. A lot of black people are marrying white folks, and their kids are beginning to water down whatever hatred that was in the past, whatever it is. It hasn't been an easy journey, to be honest with you. It hasn't been an easy journey, but sincerely, if you look at it from that perspective, you'll be able to say that, yeah, his dream in one way is kind of, kind of, you know, looking positive, if I'll put it that way. It's kind of looking positive. I know one can never say it was all happened, and this thing has happened a long time. It's not something he said last year. He said 10 years ago. He said 15 years ago. This speech he made was made many years ago, you know. And then before people knew what was happened, they took him out because of the fear of what this man will be in the future. Because he has, gathered a lot of following, a lot of people could relate to his statement, to his speech, to his movement. And it was becoming a big deal for some people that did not want that to be. So Dr. Martin Luther King is somebody that should be remembered not just once a year. Every day you wake up, every day you mix up with people, every day you meet different races, you should be able to, remember Dr. Martin Luther King, because he's not here to see some of his dreams come true. But I tell you that we that are alive will be able to relate to some of the dreams come true. So Dr. Martin Luther King dreamt that one day the children of slaves and the slave owners' kids can actually sit on the same table. You can't say categorically that is being done, but when you look at it from, on a lighter note or with an open mind, you see, I'm looking at it from the lens of this interracial marriages happening, people crossing cultural lines to marry. I remember a conversation I had a few days ago with someone whose daughter um, took her husband to Africa for the first time for Christmas. This Oyibo man went to Africa for Christmas and was so thrilled that people still live very close to nature. He saw streams, he saw, people being in their natural state, in the sense that they walk around their communities, they embrace each other, they laugh, they are so close to nature. This young man was so thrilled because he has never seen that all his life as an American. He was shocked to his bones to see that life can actually be this simple. He had no fear when he traveled to Africa for holidays. He will just say, okay, I just want to take a stroll, walk down the street, and then come back to the home. He said he wants to go again. So this is possible. So from that lens of, interracial marriages, you could be able to see that people are beginning to mix up more than it was during Martin Luther King's days. People are mixing up, unlike in those days. I remember one movie, Hollywood movie that I watched. The guy said at the time he married his Oyibo wife, that he was number second person to ever marry a Caucasian woman. And it wasn't an easy road for him. A lot of resentment, a lot of roadblocks, but the wife went on anyways and decided to marry him. Decided to marry him. Their marriage was challenged greatly because the parents of the bride never wanted their daughter to marry this man. So you can imagine, from the 50s, the 60s, up until the 2024, 25, what has changed. I'm not saying that for most family they will want their kids to run off and marry, across cultural line very easily, but I'm telling you, I've witnessed several of those marriages, and the parents are not fussing about it anymore. They just allow their children to love whoever they want to love and marry whoever they want to marry. They are not seeing it that marriage must be taken from the color side, which color, the color of your skin. They are not looking at it that way. But some parents are looking at it that we have to at least believe in something. If you believe in God and we believe in God, yes, we can give our blessings, but not the color of the skin of the person you want to marry. So when you look at it from that perspective, you could say that, yeah, maybe some of the dreams Dr. Martin Luther King talked about is beginning to come to pass. Do we still have racial divide? Yes. But are they making, effort to bridge the gaps? I believe they are doing that. And I'm not someone that is going to give up very easily. I want to believe that, in the future is going to get to where it should be, where everybody will be looked at equally, where they will not judge you because of the color of your skin, they will not condemn you because of the color of your skin. They will get to hear you, get to know you for who you truly is, not because that you look different from them or you look like them. No. I'm hopeful that all the dreams of Dr. Martin Luther King will one day come to be. But is he where he used to be before? No. Is he better than when he was campaigning for it? Yeah, I want to believe he's a lot better. I want to believe he's a lot better. And I look forward to a greater, a more amicable society, a society of humanity, let me put it that way, where we can value each other based on the fact that we are nothing but creation of God, where we can appreciate each other regardless of our tongue, creed, or culture, where we can value the fact that we that are there trying to, stereotype people, trying to profile people, we can't even create a strand of a human hair. I look forward to that day that we can all recognize that we came into this world and we go the way we came with nothing. So with that perspective, we can be able to relate better to our fellow individuals, fellow humans, fellow citizens, regardless of how the person look, how the person talk, the color of the person's skin. But we should be able to look at our fellow human that this is nothing but the creation of God. I look forward to that day where there will be no discrimination in this world, where there will be no backbiting, where there will be no judgment before you get to know the person. This is a very deep conversation, and today is remembering the journey, the thing Dr. Martin Luther King fought for. He fought for equality. He fought for, discrimination, to stop discriminating against the other. Were there people that fought about civil rights before him? Yes. The likes of Rosa Parks. There were a lot of people that have been talking about this. Martin Luther King's day is to honor the day of freedom, the day, to remember him and his legacies. He's not alive today to see how far change has come. But I will tell you, relatively, you could see it. If you're not seeing it from any other lens, see it from the marriage lens. Unlike before, it was like an omen to go and marry across culture in America. But these days, young kids go to college, they fall in love. The next thing your child is coming back, I tell you, Mom, Dad, I've met somebody I want to spend my forever with. So I want us to always remember Dr. Martin Luther King. Always remember him. I have a dream. Those were the things I grew up listening to from my brother's lips. He would recite that statement from beginning to the end. Before I got to know who Martin Luther King is, I knew about him from my younger brother, who will tell you, don't you know that one day is going to happen? This was happening in elementary school days over 20 years ago. My brother was reciting. He got to know everything about Martin Luther King, young boy in Africa, believing the statement of the movement at the time. So what is that thing you believe, or you hope for, you want to see, you want the world, how you want the world to look in the near future? Do you want a world of unity, or a world of division, or you want to see a world of peace and freedom, or you want to see a world of chaos and disrespect? What do you want to see? Martin Luther King is remembered today in America, and for that reason is a holiday in America, to remember him, what he stood for, what he fought for. And when you look at it, overall, you see that, yeah, America is not where it used to be when it comes to civil rights, but have they made some changes? Yes. Are they going somewhere? Yes. Is there hope that it's going to be better tomorrow? Yes. I'm of the opinion that it will be better. I'm of the opinion that it's going to definitely get better. I am of the opinion. That it's going to get better. I am of the opinion that the world we see today is definitely going to get better. So let me read a few comments I have here. It's not a day, it's a heritage month. Here go January through February, Heritage Month. Katuri is of the opinion that he had freed all the slaves that were kidnapped from Africa and brought them over here to be slave from the cotton field. And he went up to speak. He got shot. His he that speech. That's I, I didn't understand what Katuri wrote in the comment section. I'm sorry. I don't understand that part. So I am of the opinion that America is going to get better. I'm of the opinion that in terms of when I mean going to get better, I'm talking about the racial divide, the to bridge the gap between um the races, if I'll put it that way, in America. I'm of the opinion that tomorrow is going to be better than what it is today. Just like when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was making the speech, he looked forward to the future, that he's seen the future is going to be better. And the time will come when the children, he didn't say the slaves, he said the children of the slaves and the children of the slave owners will sit on one table. That is prophesying to the future, because you don't know what 10 years is going to be like, 20 years. But he believed that one day, that someday, the children of the slaves and the children of the slave owners will sit on the same table. They will interact with each other with more respect and dignity. And that's why I'm here to just make a very short live stream, you know, respecting and remembering Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his famous speech on his journey, civil rights journey in America. I have a dream. So, what is that thing that you're looking forward to? It might not be towards a country, it might just be towards yourself or your family. What is that thing you're hoping? It might be to your community, it might be about your school. What is that thing you're looking forward to see it be better in the future? What is that thing? Are you also proclaiming things to happen in the future, what you want to see happen in the future? Just like Martin Luther King declared that he had a dream that someday the children of the slave and the children of the slave masters would dine on the same table. I would say many years after, we can't say categorically, yeah, is a walk in the park. Oh no, far from it. That's why I chose to look at it from the marriage lens, where we now see these children, grandchildren, great grandchildren of those slave owners and slaves coming together in matrimony to start their own families. Like I said, I've gone to so many, interracial marriages. So when you look at it from that lens, you say, yeah, it's happening. It's beginning to happen. It's not like the way it was in the past, it was frowned at. It's happening. So is it going to get better? I look forward to it getting better. I look forward to that respect for one another, that human regard for one another, being human towards one another. I pray that that's what we are going to see in America, as at least in the next 4 years. I don't want to believe they are going to see anything different. I want to believe that it's going to get better no matter what. Let's be very hopeful that nothing is going to drag anybody back. Let's be hopeful and putting in remembrance the journey of Dr. Martin Luther King, what he fought for, what he stood for. Freedom, civil society, where everybody would respect each other, to stop disparaging one another or making the other look less worth of a human. I'm very optimistic that one day We will see every of his dream come true. I look forward to. I really do. I really do look forward to seeing all Dr. Martin Luther King's Jr. dreams come to pass. So, guys, like I said, it's a public holiday in America in remembrance of Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy, his dream of a civil society, dream of respect for one another, of people being human, and freedom for people, especially the children of the slaves. They have journeyed so far. They deserve to be loved, to be respected, to be treated equally like every other person. Dr. Martin Luther King's I have a dream speech. If you want, you can go on Google and just type Dr. Martin Luther King's speech. Is going to populate for you. You have to sit down and listen to everything he said that day. You'll be able to understand what it truly means. I had a dream. Mm-hmm. He had a dream. Yeah, a dream deeply rooted in American dream that one day that the nation will rise, live up to true meaning of his creed, that all men are created equal. That's just what this man is talking about. All men are created equal. He fought for civil rights. He fought for equality. So go to Google. You'll be able to listen to that speech. You will see that that speech is so moving that every day you wake up, whether you're a colored person or not, you should be able to remember, yeah, some people fought for you, especially for colored people. Dr. Martin Luther King, they were in the front line of civil society, of equality, of respect, of human dignity. We should love each other, respect each other, respect humanity. So if today means nothing to you, just go to Google and read more about Dr. Martin Luther King. You find out everything I talked about and even much more. He grew up from a Christian background. He went to school on time. He graduated with a bachelor degree of art at age 15. He got his PhD. He became one of the youngest, if not the youngest at his time, youngest Nobel Prize winner because of what everything he was, everything he became, everything that motivated him to journey to free his people. What is that thing that you believe in? What is that thing, that cause that you're hoping to see be better? Let me leave you with this thought. As you remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today, remember that respect is reciprocal. Remember that humanity is very important. Remember that if you cannot create a human being, you have no right to disparage God's creation. You have no right to make another feel so little because you think you are entitled to do that. Let us always remember that the breath we have, we can't control it, except God Himself controls that. If God decides to turn a blind eye or look away, anything can happen to anybody. And for the Father, you cannot control how you go to bed and how you wake up. You cannot control how long you're going to live on earth. You cannot decide, I'm going to be 200 years. I will live like Father Abraham, Moses, and the rest. You cannot say that because it's not in your hands. Until we start remembering that, then we have to remember that and remember we are nothing in the hands of the Lord. We are just a created thing in the hands of the Maker. Like I said, if we always remember that we cannot create another human being, then we should appreciate every human being, irrespective of our flaws, irrespective of our flaws, our creed, our race, our culture, whatever it is. First of all, know that that thing breathing oxygen just like you was made the same way and manner like you. It takes God to create a human being. So let us think about it. Dr. Martin Luther King fought for freedom. He fought for equality. He fought for respect for one another. He fought to free the slaves and also correct all the anomalies that were done. He fought against segregation. Read more about Dr. Martin Luther King. And thank you, all of you, for joining me today in today's short live stream. We'll be bringing more educative things here in my channel, something that you're going to read more about, get to know a lot of things, something that will open your eyes. And let's move it forward. Let's celebrate one another, irrespective of what we believe in. Let's respect one another. Until I see you guys in my next live stream, be well out there. The weather in our area in America is very cold. So stay warm, stay informed, and be out of trouble. Till I see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for joining me. And if you haven't liked the live stream, give it a like the live stream, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook if you're yet to do so. Thank you guys for joining me today and have a great evening, everyone. Bye.